And we're here. And we're live. Yeah, should be working. I see my bars bouncing. Richard's bars is bouncing. There's people in the chat. We're here and it's Tuesday. Welcome back to a history of revelations. So Richard shouts aliens. I shout bullshit. Anything else you'd like to add, Richard?
That's how it goes.
Is there anything else you would like to add? No. You're happy enough with that?
No, it's good.
Oh, I just closed the chat. That was very nice of me. Boom. There we go. Now I can see the chat. And we've got revelations. Maynard says, howdy. No, I'm going to try and not swear in the first minute. Tempting me. These new fucking YouTube things and all that shit. Yeah, we want the 2p. We've got Maynard, we've got Nanlu, we've got Darg, we've got Back sleeping. Oh no, Back's having a wee nap. So don't be too loud, we all have to be stump and quiet. Richard, for all the people who don't know who you are, go off. Let's see if you can shorten this down. I'm liking the way this is practice for you. I don't do this for the audience, I do this for your practice.
Okay.
Give us your story, come on.
I think it's evidence that as soon as you say beings who don't live on this planet, who interact with reality, who show up en masse, you're talking about an alien invasion. And I think that's what's being described in these ancient religions, is very, very ancient human beings giving us an invitation to join their society in what will be perceived as a gigantic alien invasion.
Aliens.
Alien overlords.
Oh yeah, we'll get the bot going with some of the alien overlords. And hopefully not freak out. So, Richard's little introduction. Hopefully that helps all the newcomers when they eventually rewatch, come back, come watch, whatever. Not whatever. We do appreciate it. So, we are getting very close to the end. We are on chapter 20.
Which I'd like to throw an invite out there if you think you'd be game for this. I think at the end of this series we should have a special show and let people come on and say whatever's on their minds.
So the same thing we do at the end of every
show? I didn't say it was an original idea.
Well, I'm not going to...
It's time to start shilling the idea.
Okay, yes. If people would like to come in, if we finish the last one, we've got 3 chapters, I think. 1, 2, 3. I don't think we're going to finish it tonight, Richard.
No, not
It's an awful lot for us to finish it tonight, but if we do, I don't know. We could just skip it. We've heard it all before. People want to come in, the invite will be out if we finish it. Whatever. But maybe next week or this week or whatever. Yeah, definitely. I'm up for that.
See how it plays out. Yeah. All right, cool. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold of the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should not deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Backing up to the first one.
Right.
This is Michael, the king over the bottomless pit, the one who seals up Satan, the one who, and I think I'm not sure it puts his name on it, but that seems to be the consensus of his job. So a literal pit dug in the crust, and them thrown in it.
Right, so that's what I was going to say. The bottomless pit is the earth. It's just digging a hole in the crust and throwing him in it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how deep it really needs to be since they're going to be sealing it up. It's not like, even if they have the ability of flight, if it's sealed up, they can't fly out of it. So it doesn't need to be very big.
Well, as I think we discussed before, whenever he is passed away, he may not be 1,000 years in this planet. If he's just the devil, his other ships may not know and all the rest of it. He could die and be reincarnated, so to speak, downloading his brain and shit like that. We've talked about it before, you know. You refer to it as prayer, you know. But yeah. So I could see, okay, so throwing him in magma, badness, takes him 1,000 years.
The vision that I have of this when reading the book of Enoch, where Enoch goes into detail about this, the pit seems like it's about a football field across, about 100 yards across. And everybody who, the Satan and his angels that are still surviving, the beast of Satan, and also the fallen angels, Azazel or Lucifer and his crew, also get thrown into the pit. And their bodies will be wasted. Because, as the rest of it melts, the pit will collapse, etc. Rocks fall on their head, kill them, stuff like that. Okay, that's the general idea. Now, a lot of people think that Michael is not known by other names in other places that have other languages. Is it here that, where is it they call him Abaddon? Where is that? I guess it's not in this section. Anyway. King over, or having power over the bottomless pit, not the king in the bottomless pit.
Ah, yes, jailer. I got the idea
jailer.
of a jailer with the rings and the keys, old-fashioned medieval style jailer.
Yep, keys, chains, stuff like that. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what came to my mind.
And this also speaks of some kind of resurrection or reincarnation of Satan. And I don't know why Christians want to say that there's no reincarnation, when I think that's exactly what this is describing. That he'll be loosed a little season after 1,000 years.
Hold on. Just let me reread it again. All right. And bound him. It doesn't say he kills him. It says he bound him.
Yep.
Bound would to me mean to tie up, to trap,
yes,
not to murder.
Right.
So you don't believe. So what? Well, Christians do believe that the devil lives for a very long time.
Yeah.
So they don't need to believe in reincarnation.
Well, even if he was stuck in the crust for 1,000 years, he'd starve to death. No matter how tough he is.
Again, you're falling on your own beliefs. A lot of Christians don't think he is mortal like us.
True. Yeah. They might have vampire rules for him. I don't know.
Speaking of vampires and people who just suck the crack out of the room, look at the live chat. Welcome.
Oh, hi, Rebuke and Reprove.
The only Christian that thinks for themselves, No, well, that's all the attention. That's all the attention that Jill deserves. Because tonight, Jill, isn't about you. Tonight's about me and Richard having some fun. Come back on Saturday. We'll do the thing again. But
right on.
Yeah, no, I don't see the Christians need to believe in reincarnation, because to me, to just know bound means to be tied.
Yeah. It's funny how much the Christian churches will buck at the idea of reincarnation, but then they'll say people die and go to heaven, which is, reincarnation.
No, reincarnation, again, man, you have to take it into consideration where they're coming from and compartmentalize it. Reincarnation to them would mean reincarnation upon this earth, again, in this plane of existence. Moving on to the heavens, moving on to heaven, is a totally different plane of existence. It's not reincarnation.
I would agree with you.
It's moving on.
It's moving on. It's not reincarnation.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure why location matters to the process.
Well, it's not a process, as you keep pointing out, physical death and spiritual death. They see it as one and the other, so they don't... Yeah.
I still think they're being inconsistent.
And from your point of view, possibly, yes. But and mine, agreeably, but not from their own. I can see how they would do some jumps and
what
hooks.
Makes that noise?
Oh, this is my phone. Sorry, I will...
That's a phone noise?
It's my cool phone, see? My flashes and all, you put, see? No, it's a nothing phone one. It's got this like high pitched thing. It's like, I don't know. It started. I don't know if people thought it was a gimmick, but I like it. The whole flip the switch lights. I can see here if my phone gets a message without hearing. You know, it's a handy feature. And I've dumbed it down with a lovely look. Let's see the insides of a teddy bear.
A teddy bear.
Yeah, it's a sticker I got a limit. She gave it to me. This is also maybe why she stabbed that person in the game to see their insides. Okay, moving on now. Verse 5, Richard.
4, I think. Yeah, little season.
Four. Yeah, go for it.
And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, plural, Christians, plural, judgment. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. So, nothing to talk about there. There are multiple judges for end times. I believe 12 angels, 12 past Christs will be judging, or high angels. They may not be Christs. It's kind of hard to tell from the text. And they will be literally at 12 stations with the whole Earth's population around them and going, let's see, good, okay, next. All right, good, next.
Sorry, the chat was distracting me. Give me 1 more second.
Give you what?
Right, so we're at verse 5?
Yeah,
right.
Almost at verse 5.
Okay, so I overtook you.
And all they're measuring for is to make sure that a person isn't a Nephilim. If they're a Nephilim, they're rejected. If they choose to not go to heaven, they can choose to not go. It's it's going to become more and more pressured, and there's already been a good bit of things that should be evidence to a person. These things are not imagined; they're real. But just the same, they're allowed to reject heaven if they so choose.
The whole idea of a Nephilim. We had this discussion. I don't know. It wasn't private. It was me, you, and Sammy one night in stream, and like there was a big, massive basketball player that you were convinced is a Nephilim. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of them I'm convinced are Nephilim, but it's their wingspan versus their height.
Yes.
And if there's a great difference. Somebody the other day, Ivan Van Veen, pointed out to me this basketball player, which if he's not standing beside somebody, he just looks like everybody else. You know?
Yeah, I understand. Proportionately.
Yeah, and his measurements look just fine. I went and looked him up, and I don't think he is he's a really big dude. He's 7'2", but I don't think he's a Nephilim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If any of the mods want to throw Gur's link in the chat, just to give Gur some love, because he tried every command that's there, and every single one of them I've changed to give him a wee bit of abuse. So, if one of the mods just want to throw a wee link to Gur to keep him happy so he doesn't cry. And yes, Rich.
Peace and respect. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Peace and respect, Let's Farm and Nanalu, and also Stephanie Helms.
Yeah, Let's Farm. Feel free to post your email in the live chat, and if anybody would like to reach out and find a debate partner or like to debate anything, Let's Farm does run a debate. They have a massive Discord, and they're moving from Discord into YouTube. But yeah, huge amount of people in the Discord. Thousands of people in the Discord. And so if Let's Farm wants to post it and anyone wants to, there you go. Boom. No, I'm personally ignoring him, Jay. He gets the hugs on the Saturday. Today's this, you know.
Peace and respect, Jay Passick. Yeah, we got better stuff to do than, all that.
Yeah, help out friends and say hello to other friends. And yeah, welcome to the madness, Jay. No.
So because of the Old Testament, where you get to people being close to 1,000 years,
mm-hmm.
and if you read the King James, it says, "And then they died," but what it actually reads is, "And then they transitioned." And what they transitioned
hold on.
hold on. Go ahead.
The King James, it says transitioned only in the.
No, it says died in the King James.
Right. So transitioned is the actual. You're taking that from what you believe to be the translation in the Greek or whatever. Blah 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 blah. Yeah.
The more original idea is transitioning. It's not necessarily death. It just means some kind of big change.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really say what that change is, but it makes sense to me that they get to about 1,000 years and then they go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Just like right here. They will reign with Christ 1,000 years. And then they probably go do something else. It's not like they die out of heaven. That wouldn't make sense, right?
Well, you see, there's a particular, sometimes I make sci-fi references and stuff, but there is a particular show that I've watched before, and there was people who had got to the stages of, where you're talking about, where they'd conquer medical. They'd conquered all that. They could live forever. Everything was grand. The only thing they had to worry about was getting donked in the head or whatever. There was no, you can come back afterwards, but you don't die. They were eternal rather than immortal, if you understand what I mean by the difference, right? And they would limit themselves in a population because they lived so long. But the younger generation fought back and wanted to, because the older generation became so afraid. They'd done everything. They'd lived for so long, they got bored, so they stayed indoors and they were afraid to go out. And, the younger generation who hadn't experienced, thousands of years, maybe, it just said younger generation. It could be fucking 300 if you're living to 100,000. There could be younger generation. But you get what I mean. And I've also seen that sort of scenario. So
I think you showed that to me. That sounds familiar to me.
Yes, I've talked about it before.
Lex?
It is Lex, yes. It was the musical. I didn't show you the whole musical.
No. I watched it, the part you showed me, but
yeah, it's like a 45-minute long musical, and it is a musical, and it's actually quite a good musical. And I fucking hate musicals. But it's a stage. Oh, it's even better. They turn up to watch a fucking stage show and they become part of the stage show and it's all on stage. Yeah, I have shown this to you before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what we're doing here with this fucking story. Anyway, that was a nice tangent. Moving back on.
So I think at the end of their 1,000 years, they don't die out of heaven. They just change jobs. And I think when it's talking about people living for a really long time on the earth, that's what it's talking about. It's not talking about them being on the earth at all. 5. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Let me read that a little bit. Okay. Blessed and holy is he that...
No, go on ahead.
Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such... the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests in God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
I have issues. Just because they say it's resurrection, that may be the closest word that we have in English. I don't think what they described previously is a resurrection. She is fucking bound. I don't think he's been dead. And everything after this is an exaggeration. It's not really a bottomless pit,
Well, it's not actually bottomless, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the point I'm saying.
Just pretty damn deep.
Yeah. And you can...
Pot? Oh, he's dreaming?
He's dreaming and running. I don't know if anyone can see him on the sofa just there.
It's not focusing on him.
No, but that's deliberately not focusing. But yeah, he's just there.
I can see the white and brown stripy thing.
I'm not switching it. Well, I cleaned the night, so the house is lovely. Like that.
I meant the dog.
Aye, he needs a bath. Anyway.
No, I was just saying he's brown and white striped. That's all I can tell with the camera blurred.
I know. It's funny though. You can hear him going. Harp!
I didn't mean to say he needed a bath. I wasn't trying to suggest any such thing.
He hasn't got a bath.
He's an old dog,
He hasn't had a bath since Christmas. Right. Anyway, the rest of the dead lived not again till the 1,000 years were finished. I don't care that it describes it like that and then says resurrection. That one sentence could be a bad translation in my opinion. I'm going to pull a Richard and say, I know better. And I'm sticking to what they said earlier. It's more consistent.
I think the 1,000 years is how long it is between end times on Earths, which is why it keeps saying 1,000 years, and things change at 1,000 years.
Hold on. Like, we've been around for 1,000 years.
More.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Minimum. We've been around already. So between the,
yeah.
did I understand you wrong? Between the end times of one and the end times of the next?
Yeah, the next Earth's end times. End times are about 1,000 years apart, from what I can tell. So let's say
we had this conversation. Yeah, we had this conversation before. Yeah, we had this conversation before. There was a lot of us seated, and they're just walking around afterwards picking us up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's always another Earth being seeded, etc., etc. It seems like just an ongoing process, maybe that never ends. I can't
yeah, I
tell.
know. We whole talked about the fact that where the fuck is everybody, you know? But these aliens just be seeding us all over the place. Right, first resurrection. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together. Oh, how did I get this fucking sentence? Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
Yes.
That
is the number of those in the battle are as the sands of the sea, like uncountable, something like that, right?
We got a clout.
And
we got a clout. Hello, clout.
Oh, peace and respect, clout. Welcome back. Keep track on Wesley Curry.
Hey Wesley.
I had a very, very nice debate with Wesley Curry on JG's channel, Certainty Exists. And you guys should give it a view and, comment and let Wesley know what you think.
I will wait till you upload it to your channel in the next week or so, and I will watch it in yours, because you deserve it better than JG. No harm to JG.
Oh,
and
that's lovely.
I've been saying nice things about Wesley lately against the better judgment of people around me. But upload it in yours, I'll watch it in yours. Definitely would be interested, Richard. And for anyone who hasn't subscribed to Richard, I doubt it very much, but do subscribe to Richard. We were looking today just before we come on. I think Richard has a fifth of the people who watch Richard are not subscribed. They come back, and you can see the stats that they come back at the exact same time as the subscribers, but you just don't hit the button. Fucking hit the button. Helps Richard out.
Huh. That many. Yeah, I guess you're right. Where was I? You bumped it up, didn't you?
I did bump it up. Where we were was here.
It's okay.
I got the Gog and Magog. Right, who the fuck's Gog and Magog? Never heard of this before.
They didn't translate those words, and probably they should have, so it'd make better sense, like a lot of the words they didn't translate. This is about the same thing as saying nastiness and disturbed. Something like that.
The four quarters of the earth, nasty and disturbed, together, them together. No, they're capital letters, they're names, they're people.
Oh, I'd be happy to look them up for you, but they're supposed to be the names of towns, not people.
Okay, well, capitalized because of towns, right?
Yeah. But
where's the other two?
They also have meanings.
Where's the other two?
Where's the other two? What? Sodom and Egypt?
Hold on, let me just read this, because it says, it says four quarters, right? And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. In the way, I know it's Old English, but then if with the comma and the capitalization, you would expect to see four names then.
So you don't, because Gog and Magog don't mean places. They don't mean specific towns. They mean the kind of people that live there. Just like saying Sodom and Egypt. It doesn't mean the town of Sodom and the country of Egypt. It just, or whatever Egypt was. Kingdom of Egypt.
No, it's not. No, it's describing, saying earth and places. And that for it to flip. I don't know.
There could be 3,000 towns that are Gog Magog, for instance.
And I'm open to that. But they should have said the two halves of the earth. if they were only going to refer to two things, it would have made sense to say the two halves.
Man.
It's fucking English. Is there something wrong with my brain? Like, it says
Okay,
4 quarters of the earth. So let's have the 4.
The word Magog is used as a name, talking about the sons of Japheth. And then it's a land, it's a place, right?
A specific place or a description of any random place. Like if I say
The land
field,
of Magog.
Right, so it is a specific place. I can't just say the field. It's not any other field. It is the town of Magog.
Yes. And then again in Ezekiel, fire comes down on Magog, which is why I think it's talking about end times. And finally, it appears as we just read it, and the easiest one to find, definition, is going to be... etymology. No definition for Gog. Okay.
Gog. Maybe it was a misspelling. Should have been Cog.
They didn't know what Gog meant. I'm not going to take the time right now, but I should take the time sometime to use search engine, figure out what because it's a Hebrew word. Won't take
there you go. That's where I keep thinking fucking Magog, McDonald's, you know. Have a nice egg, Magog.
Egg Magog. Do you know
can I have a Magog McMuffin?
When you said food items, I thought Christmas and Egg Magog.
Oh, Egg Magog. That's brilliant.
Egg Magog, yeah.
We're going to have
tasty.
a fucking egg.
Spicy.
Egg Magog. What is it? A Magog and egg muffin with some egg Minogue.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Lost all meaning now. Battle whom? Lots of them. Right. I still think they should have said 2 fucking halves. I have a fucking actual prep. See, I know my phone went off, didn't make a noise. Brilliant. Oh, it's Aaron. No, shh. Well, stay here. He's boring. Yeah. Still think they should have said 2 halves. Bree says, be careful not to gog yourself on my gaga. Oh, you made me say that before I realised the implication, you nasty lady. Moving on.
And they went up the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. So there you go. Again, I'm going to say that sounds like destruction of the place.
Stop. Yeah. That's a physical description of a god.
I'm sorry, what?
How can these wonderful ideas come down and devour anything? The idea of devouring when I'm pretty sure that we're at the end of the earth and everything's fucked. There's nothing to eat and anything but the souls of human beings. That is a literal physical description of God. So can you find out the fucking word that they used for that? See how it fits in with your translation? Because you just skimmed past it and you always say God is a set of ideas. So I have a bit of an issue there with your fucking dismissiveness.
Yep. Okay, camps about beloved city, and fire came down from Theos. It's Greek. It just generally means God.
So that's a group of ideas.
No, this is general God. It's Greek. Of course, it's referring to early Christianity and late Judaism. That's the right time frame that this would be referring to. In which case, it could mean Elohim, it could mean Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, and it could mean El. But you can't tell from the Greek.
Right. The whole fucking thing was written in Greek, yeah?
Yeah, this part.
So every other time it said God, did it say that, or it said a specific word?
No, it just says Theos.
Every single time it says God in this, it says theos.
Or it'll say, depending on the structure of the sentence, it'll say theos or theon. Yeah. But it's just general God.
So every okay, having a sudden, I feel like that guy in the space sort of. Yeah, I'm gonna write this. Yeah, I hope we're gonna rush through this to get to the end of this so we can have an after party. So I don't forget. I can attack you in this. Moving the fuck on. Right, that's a big talk there.
Of course, early Christians would have looked at God as not a trinity, but a singularity.
No.
Right?
Yes. No, hold on. They would have looked at God was all.
And they wouldn't have thought of God as having personage either.
Hold on. Later. Wait, no. The Trinity did not come out from early Christians. The Trinity was.
That's what I just said.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were fighting the opposite.
I said they wouldn't think of it as a trinity.
Yeah. No, fine. I thought you were saying the opposite. I misheard you.
No, they were monotheists.
Yeah.
Unlike the Trinitarians, which are tritheists.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I just misheard you, and I thought you were the other way.
Yeah.
Right. Well. Go.
So they also didn't give personage to God, which works really well for what I'm thinking anyway. But we can't definitively know.
Yes, but I was running on an assumption. I assumed something from just you and knowing you, and I'm not going to quote an asshole, but sometimes you're very vague, you know? And I was running off an assumption, and there's an awful lot of this series which has made me come to awareness, you know, that I've just assumed an awful lot of you about your niceness and your wonderfulness, and you're just a nice guy, and we all love you for the sake of loving you, you know, and we just accept your religion. Well, we don't accept it, but we accept that you have that position, you know, and it's like, he's not a harmful guy, he's just Richard, he's lovely, you know? But you're a wee bit more controversial when we're talking about this. I think in this last 6 months, maybe this last year or so, you've been being a wee bit more. It's fucking aliens, and it's going to be hard, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah. And I'm running. I was assuming every time we seen God and you made a justification for Yahweh at this time, or you made a justification for God at that particular time, or you made a justification for whatever other fucking God there was or whatever. I assumed and didn't ask the question because I forgot this was written in Greek. And only Greek.
Well, I appreciate your vote of confidence, but you shouldn't just trust me like that.
It's not trust. It was an assumption. I didn't think of it. I assumed it subconsciously.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, because you're
but
too fucking...
I still hold, because of a lot of other verses, that the angels do all the stuff, the Father being one of those angels, and none of those are God.
No, none of this is God. None of the gods in this that have described physicality or anything that you've justified by any other person is described as God in the Greek. It's just general any old God. And as you say, the vagueness suits you fucking perfectly.
Yep. Suits me just fine.
Yep.
In fact, you could stretch that word God right there to mean Baal. You could. Because the early Jews did worship Baal.
Oh, he's also my favourite in fucking SG1. He's brilliant. Got his own 2 movies and all too. Like.
2 movies?
No, 1 movie. Definitely 1. No, he was in... Yeah.
What?
No, he was in... Definitely 1. Definitely 1.
Did you say SG1 like Stargate? Like
yes. Yes.
Oh.
No, he was in 2 movies. He was in 2 movies, but the very first movie was the end of series. Instead of releasing it in cinema, they decided to do a massive epic one and split it, and then they did it as 2 episodes. So he was technically in 2 movies, although the first movie was split into 2 episodes. The second movie, he did get a starring role. There you go. All I'm saying is
Did he
Creed!
look all Mesopotamian?
Creed!
Did he look all... Did he look all Mesopotamian and, you know, like that kind of style? Did they make him look modern?
Early in the series he did, and then he realized when everybody was wiping out all the, you know, the ghouls around and they started to win, he was like, you know, I've got lots of technology, I've got, you know, lots of gold and shit. I'm going to go down to Earth and clone myself about 6 times and just pretend to be a businessman and just, you know, if you fuck with me, I've built a building and I'm going to blow the shit up out of the city. Just leave me alone. That was his plan.
A businessman.
Yeah. Capitalism.
Bored.
Capitalism, man.
Well,
He liked
Einstein
the
did
luxury.
say that.
He could come to Earth and do nothing and just have money, and people would treat him as he would. You know, it was the same. They're not going to worship you, but people are going to wait on your hand for if you have enough. You know.
That seems to be pretty true.
Mm-hmm. And if he's not out there destroying people, his idea was just leave me alone. Right. So Theos.
Yeah, Theos. Yeah.
Theos.
Something like that, depending on where you're from.
All right. Go on.
And this will happen so many times that the participants in it are like the sands of the sea. In other words, a whole bunch. Just a whole bunch. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, encompassed, we already read that part, saints about, devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone. See, now that should mean death. Yes?
Sorry, I was looking at the chat. I was tagged. Blame Let's Farm.
Devil in a lava flow. Should mean dead.
Yeah, dead man. Dead man, right? What?
That's dead man.
And the devil he cast in the lake of fire and brimstone. Beast was a false prophet. And yeah, basically that's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
I saw a great white thorn, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. So who's this guy in the throne?
That would be the Father. He's the conductor.
I thought the center throne was to God.
Well, there's some conjecture about that.
I'm asking you. I don't give a fuck what the scholars say, and don't you dare use them, because you've said they're wrong so many fucking times. You can't pick
I
and
believe
choose.
they are wrong, and I don't quote them. But, okay. It's not quite interchangeable, but I can certainly see why the Christians would have debate about this very thing. I can certainly see why they would. Because the Father's in charge of end times, but then the great white throne judgment is something of God. But the Father does act in God's place. So there you go. Me personally, I think it's talking about the Father, because he's running the show this time.
So you would be of the opinion that they have a little rule, a little privilege, you know, because you got to be Jesus, you get to be God, you get to sit in the chair this one time. You get to sit there just this one time. That's a bit of humanity in it. I can see that. I don't agree at all. I think it goes against everything that they've actually stood for before. But yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
What you're saying? There's something like immoral or illogical about that? Like he sees
because
the earth, he gets to reap it.
I can see that the seat has been given the whole way through this, and the ideas of God are held with such high regard that to go and sit your fat ass on them is a bit disrespectful.
Okay, fair enough.
But I can see the humanity in it, and I can see why you would try to portray, you know, they're just big humans, you know. We would all be like, go on, sit in the chair that once, you know. But I think that goes against their entire thing. That's like taking the Holy Grail to the toilet and using it as a bidet, you know.
Okay.
To them.
I think it's a privilege. It's a one-time deal, just like being Jesus is a one-time deal. And then when that next earth after Jesus is elevated and he sits at the right hand, he becomes the placeholder of the new heaven, and the new heaven's named after him.
See,
he does the next end times.
I don't like that. I don't like that, because after like 6,000 or 7,000 fucking years of just asses sitting in this seat, someone's going to have to clean it as well. So now you've just got a moldy cleaner on it. And if you don't, you've got Jesus ain't going to wipe no seat down.
I'd be very privileged to clean the throne. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Someone please soundbite Richard talking about cleaning the throne. Pretty please. Jay, you out there? Okay, right. So sitting our fat asses on the ideas of God, but just the ones.
Yep.
Right, we Jesus bidet. You can soundbite that too, right?
And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened. Remember the 2 books that were mentioned before?
Oh,
Now
my
they're
brain
both
went
open.
toilet paper. My brain went, damn, man, I needed toilet paper. Sorry.
That's slightly not the right topic. I can
Well, we're
see
on the
association
bidet.
now.
There's bidet in the fucking... I blame Stephanie. She said bidet. Jesus, bidet.
Jesus bidet.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has warm water.
I would
You
like
know,
to
just
think
the right
it's
temperature. Something
body
about
temperature.
73, 75 degrees.
body
I
temperature.
wouldn't want it body temperature.
No, you wouldn't feel it then, would you?
That's
No,
too
well, you
warm.
would just
You
feel
wouldn't-
it.
You just feel the impact. You wouldn't feel the...
Okay, let's move the
difference.
fuck on. This getting weird, right? And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God. The books were open. Another book was open. The books were opened, right? So that's 2
Yeah.
minimum, which you're
Yeah.
referring to as earlier. And another book was opened, which is the book of
Right.
life. And the dead were judged out of the things. So with the 2 books at the start were what? Hey, Aaron.
The Bible, which is locked right now until Jesus unlocks it with the 7 seals.
Oh, that's right.
The
yes.
book in the right hand of God, which is the knowledge of the universe, the
Went
completion of
past.
science, and then the book of life as well.
And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they judged every man according to their work. So you're talking now about everybody being raised from the dead and all that bollocks.
Yep.
Using the
And
idea.
judged.
Now, when
Sorry, go
Richard
ahead.
says raised from the dead, now if I can just ask a few questions to get clarification, right? My brain actually thought before my mouth thought there. That was good. That time it didn't, because I did bad grammar. But I tried once, man. It only works. Right?
Sometimes the magic works, sometimes it doesn't. It's okay.
Richard, would you agree that when you say resurrection, you would believe that there is some sort of storage, regardless of war, shorthand, of everyone that's ever lived, and they will be using that storage to recreate everybody in a new body?
Yep. That's what I
That's
understand
what
to be true
Richard
in the
believes
text,
is
yeah.
recreation, not a resurrection, not zombies walking around or anything like that. Oh, fucking people coming up out of the ground. I think Richard's thinking something like a spaceship dumping 70 billion people on the fucking earth and just going, right, boys, line up. And they're all like, what the fuck? I was just cutting fucking things down in the field and a tree hit me. One of the guys over here going, I cut my finger and a week later I died. I don't know what's going on. They all get judged. That's what you think's happened, yes?
Yes. Yes. That they'll be literally born again into heaven.
Okay.
To enter into heaven, they must be born again, yes.
Recreated genetically, as we had scientifically said. Say that then.
Having a heartbeat, wiping
Right.
their butts
If you
after
disagree
they go to the
with,
bathroom.
okay, here's an idea. If slightly ignorant in my term, you know, here's where I don't think. If you fucking disagree with a Christian so much, stop using their terms. Start giving me some Graham Hancock and stuff, you know. Start sounding. Say
Somewhat.
Graham Hancock. No, that's a
don't know who
writer.
that is.
What do you call that guy just did the fucking show on Netflix, all ancient aliens, Graham something. I don't know.
Oh.
Architect and fucking historian. Crazy. Always the aliens, and he's mad for Atlantis now. Oh, we should do a show on Atlantis.
I don't think we're going to have much to do a show on.
Oh, are you going to tell me you don't believe in Atlantis?
I mean, I believe that the idea of a very ancient, extremely advanced civilization that we don't find here, yeah, I believe in Atlantis.
Oh, you should watch Stargate.
I just think that it's heaven.
You should watch Stargate SG-1 spin-off show Stargate Atlantis. It's all about a giant spaceship city in the sky called Atlantis, full of massive technology that's buried under the sea on a faraway planet. You should see it.
Works fine for me. I mean, that's a lot more likely than this Earth has been through several cycles of civilizations that got to the space age and, I don't know, died or something stupid.
I really want to set an interview up with you and Krakenford. I really do. I need to sort something there, and that's just totally abusing you, which I don't feel.
No, it's fine.
No,
I
but
need the education.
It's interesting, you know, how far when they go back that far and stuff. If anyone hasn't seen, just pure fucking chill for Craigenford. Go and watch. How would you even spell that? I can't even spell it. CRGREGFORD or something. It's some fucking Celtic way of spelling. It's got a wee Celtic symbol and all. It's Indo-European scholarly work, taking back the myths, the story, right back to before we had language. You know, the idea of the culture and what it was beforehand, and he gets into how their gods were all based in bison and things like that, and then not in the necessarily the Neanderthals, but you know, the European-based people were more farming and stuff, and their gods and these gods, and the whole the idea of the culture and how gods were battling. So if they battled them, then the gods won. So it was like you have to incorporate the gods. You know, it was a whole. Yeah, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. It's my new rabbit
heard of
hole.
those kinds of stories.
It's my new rabbit hole, man. There's like so many videos of the oldest story on the earth. Like it's. You should watch it. You generally, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Because I already know the story. It's boring.
You do not know the story.
Yeah, it's the same old story. Ancient aliens.
Nope.
Here we are. They invite us to leave. It's
Right.
always the same story.
But would you not like to? No, it's not always that. There's a development of that. That's what I'm saying. They can show.
Within a religion?
Pardon?
Within a religion?
They can show the development of why they went and this, that, and the other. There's a development, actual stages and steps to where we got to where we got to.
Oh, you're talking about actual history. Well, that's different.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that story.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. And it runs very much in tangent with yours. Like there is references where people can say this about this, and there probably was a reference to the stars in this, but this is because of that happened because of this. You know, there's not a direct straight jump to the sky and see aliens. There's a thing before that we can show, and then there's a thing before that we can infer. And if we tried to go any further, we're just like, nah, no, pre-Indo-European, we'll fuck that up. Like, what? No, we can't do that. We're guessing. So they just stop. And even when they write it down, they put an asterisk at all the words that they can even come to the point of hypothetical words, but they always put an asterisk in the translations because it is a hypothetical word. We don't know what it sounds like, just how it's written. It has been proven to be right so far back. But, you know, it's interesting. Definitely interesting.
I was just recently looking at a Bible from that same time period. Or for those.
Ain't no Bible in Indo-European.
Yeah, it's later it's not Indo-European. It's
The whole fucking thing of Indo-European is it's not written down.
Hold on a second. It's I'm probably confusing two different land masses because I'm bad at geography. That's probably what it is.
Dude, it's thousands of years before any of that.
Well, it's still going to say there's always the same stories in these ancient religions. So
I know
it's
that
kind of hard to get before religion.
Okay, I will tweak what you're saying in an answer, and I will say there is a way, and you can get before religion as we see what religion is.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm not talking
no problem.
me and the Christians and all of these people around me. I'm talking your interpretation. You can go back further than your interpretation.
Really? Where?
Indo-European Craig. That's what I'm fucking getting at,
about
man.
Real history. No, is this including religion or not? What you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to take a look at it.
Like the whole religion basically was their life. Real quick thing. Animalism. Look up animalism. See if it.
Animism.
There you go. Animism. Right?
Yeah.
in and around that, and you know, even before that and stuff. That's what we're talking about. The actual thing from there to here. You know.
And there were some American cultures that kept animism, and they never really developed their religion beyond that. It just stayed very naturalistic and
yeah, well, to a
grounded
point.
in the earth and stuff.
Yes, but that style of religion stayed, but it changed over time. Just the style of religion changed. Like we've got Christianity from that. We've Christianity, you know. It's just fucking not that.
I don't
Definitely
really like the
not getting to
translation here.
Definitely not getting to the end of this fucking book tonight.
And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. So physical death, which includes the death and hell. So death and hell are destroyed. So when you read that, you can't have that the fire is in hell and also hell gets destroyed by the fire. It gets cast into the fire.
Right. When I read this, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
Yeah.
I think me and you have talked about before, hell is the same as heaven. If we were taking if we're taking that same internal critique this time, and we've got heaven is a spaceship.
Yeah. And hell's just a different spaceship.
Different
set of
spaceship.
spaceships.
Okay, so the spaceship's destroyed, and death is the devil.
Yeah. Well,
so the devil and his spaceship got shot down. Boo boo.
they land here because they're oxygen breathers, and then when the crust melts, their crap does too, and their bodies die.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works for me.
Okay,
So
so
my point
this
is,
is the
when
demolished.
Christians
No,
say
hold on.
something
I'm
like-
just making sure. Copyright pending. Demolish doctrine. Making sure that everyone knows even Richard's religion can have fucking different interpretations.
So when Christians say something like there's fire in hell that burns you forever, this is the stuff they're talking about right here, but then they don't go, okay, wait, how can the fire consume hell and it's what powers hell? Or it's the meaning of hell,
Okay,
but
so-
it consumes hell.
Okay, so what Christians do is they say, I'm too stupid to understand God, and they don't think about it, and you try to justify it. But it's fine. You say all the time you don't understand the mind of God, and then sometimes you fucking basically tell me you don't fucking know the mind of God.
I understand some of this, but I can't say I understand everything. But just in normal logic, it's like if I said there was a submarine and it was half full of water.
Then it's working. They use water
And
to buoyancy. So
It's got water in it, right?
I interrupt.
Which is fine until you say something like, well, that's all the water. The water is only in the submarine. And then further on you say the submarine imploded in the sea and it got filled with water and everyone died. It can't be both the inside thing and the outside thing, and they're both exclusive. Doesn't make sense.
What you're telling me is fucking arguments against Christianity. You're not telling me what Christians think. You're just telling me arguments. What you're sounding like right now is an anti-theist. You're like an atheist on an angry tree. You're just giving me
Except
fucking
I'm not
arguments.
angry.
I know. You're just giving me arguments. You're not telling me what a Christian thinks. A Christian just goes, don't know. Don't think about it.
Some of them, yeah. Fair enough.
And even if they didn't, and they would justify it this way and the other way and all, your justification to you makes more sense. Cool. It's a spaceship that crashed on the earth. Brilliant. Makes sense in Richard's religion. Would you believe that their belief makes sense in their religion? Would you? Would you?
It doesn't.
You don't think it does. But do they?
They think it does, as long as they don't think about things like this where they require
Guarantee I can find
mutually
an
exclusive
apologetic.
things to
Guarantee you right now. Someone in the chat, I'll give you 15 minutes, right? What time is it? Oh, it's 11:57. Just turned. I'll give you 3 minutes. Find an apologetic for that verse. 3 minutes. That's all we need. Google. Guarantee you there's an apologetic for any Christian out there that questions it.
Oh, I'll bet you there is, yeah.
Yeah, the point of it is, Richard, you can't just fucking say they don't believe it. And then sometimes when I say something to you that you disagree with, you were like, rah! It's like, no, I don't fucking believe it. You just give me arguments. You didn't tell me what a Christian is.
Well, I didn't quote a specific Christian, that's true.
Let's get on to the fucking next thing.
If I thought about it, I guess I could. Let's see, what Christians do I know that think there is literally fire in hell? Praise I Am. He thinks that.
Oh, I'm going to kick you and then bring you back, only the script's not working at the minute. You can't use Praise I Am or Jill or fucking any of these internet Christians as a legitimate Christian. They're just plonkers.
They're not legitimate Christians. Don't tell them that. They'll be shocked.
Okay, all right. I will allow you, Mac. We'll allow you a wee bit of Krishna, right? We'll let you some of plastic Jesus, you know. And I can't think of her name now. Fucking the little old lady. Yeah, you can get it. Can't remember her name. She's not even here tonight. I was on her channel the other night. I introduced her to Marty. Me and Marty went on her channel the other night. It's quite funny.
I don't know this little old lady. I don't know.
Lovely little old lady. She hangs around with Bruce. Damn, can I not think of her name?
Let's see. You're either talking about Deborah.
Nope.
Or hold on. Let me give you the whole list of names. Shoot.
Yeah. Shoot.
She has a funny spelling of her last name. What's her name?
Linda. It's Linda.
Linda Edmondson?
That's it. Thank you, Krishna. See, that's why you get a wee bit of Krishna. Good person, right? You can have a whole whack of Linda because she's just full of love. She's like one of those little old ladies that sings hymns and everything else. Reminds me of my granny when she was younger. And still my granny, you know. And didn't even give a shit about God. Just went to the fucking church because she fucking had to. Hated it. Still hates God. There's stuff. I went in the house the other day and she had Christian books sitting in a heap on the floor. And I says, my ma, I was like, when the fuck did Granny start reading Christian's books? And she goes, I don't think she has. Robbie Ann brought them up and she just fucked them off to the side. It's like, okay. Oh. Granny was in the hospital and my auntie brought her a Bible and she told my mother to give, she woke up, you know, Ann was up and left the Bible and stuff, and the Granny woke up and was like, what the fuck's this fucking, my ma comes up there and she's like, Ann left this. Take that home. That ain't gonna fucking do a goddamn thing. Sorry. Go on ahead.
Where are we at in time?
We've been going for just an hour. We usually go 90 minutes.
But I like the chapter break at an hour, you know? It makes it easy.
I'm happy to go 2 hours.
We only got 2 shows left.
No, we got this one, then we make the next one real short, and an after party.
No, I want to do 2 more shows.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
the after party.
Hmm?
Then I want to keep these to about an hour, you know?
Why? We've been going for more than an hour for a long time. Only the last 3 or 4 we've been cutting.
Yeah, but I always wanted to keep it to an hour.
I know, but it's my channel. You do what you're told. We're going. And I saw
I kick myself. I know more than you know how to kick me. I know how to kick me too.
Here, in all honesty, I didn't kick you. I put you backstage.
I wasn't talking about that. You threatened to a few minutes ago. You said you. If I kept
that
up.
time I was going to kick you. Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
Right. Are we going to bounce over to your channel then for an after party?
I'll set up a show if people show up. Sure.
Aye.
But I'm gonna go have a cigarette.
Hmm? No,
I'm gonna
yeah,
go
the
smoke.
usual 7 to 11 plus 2. Sorry, 7 to 11 plus 4.
Yeah.
If you give me your
I
password.
can't go very long though. I have some work I have to go to tonight after a little bit.
Oh.
In fact, I shouldn't even do an after show because of that.
Well, if you
actually.
don't want to, there's no pressure. I'm just the crack
No,
screen.
actually, I'd like to. I would like to, as long as there were people interested. But I promised somebody I'd do something, so I should go do it.
Good, good. So I get to shout at you about Theos for a while. Brilliant. Love that. Right. I'll definitely be there. Will anyone else be there? Let's Farm might be in there. Yeah, Let's Farm. I'll send Let's Farm the link as well. He's a very good man and stuff, and I have to hang out and do stuff. I promised Let's Farm that I would help him tonight with his setup. So we'll hang out for a wee while and then go both do our thing.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I was reading Iron Charioteer, trying to figure out what he's talking about. He Magnet and his Hummer.
They mentioned a religion also earlier and said that explained everything. But I didn't get a chance to tag it because I know you and I have a thing going on and we're not going to stir that pot. So yes, Let's Farm. Please do post your link in the chat. Let's Farm is taking a wonderful base of people that has been... I don't want to use the Let's Farm runs a very well run Discord. You get away with stuff, you don't get away with stuff. It's laid out equally. They have a mute room that you get shouted at and talk to, and it's a very run well Discord. And they're taking that base and moving it to YouTube. And I think that it's going to fucking explode, because even if only 20% of the people in the Discord subscribe, they've had 1,000 subscribers already.
Wow.
You know, with the exception of what I've seen with the debates, the only problem I have is you need to up your level with fucking debaters, man. The people who are joining don't have the technology to join. They keep cutting. It's like, where'd he go? Oh, blackout. Have to wait till the solar panels kick in. No! Ruins the flow. Don't post the Discord link, man. Post the YouTube link. Post the YouTube link. February the 13th or 3rd or whatever it is, I've been producing their first live panel. So definitely come over, do that. Have you set the show up yet? I'm rambling.
I should go and make the promise true that I made.
Oh, so no after party.
Actually, yeah, I shouldn't do that. I want, but I shouldn't.
How about you hang around for 20 minutes? Will we get anyone else jump in? Here, if I post the link, does anyone want to pop in? Could you hang around for 15, 20 minutes?
I'm gonna go have a smoke first, but sure.
Yeah, cool. Right. Oh! I hit the wrong button.
Yeah, I see that.
Right.
Messed up over there.
There's the link. Anyone wants to jump in. If anyone jumps in, 2 people. I need 2 people to jump in. Let's Farm. I'm pulling you in because when it's over, we're going to go do your thing. So, 2 people.
All right, I'm going to go smoke real quick. I'll be right back quick as I can.
Right, Richard's going to say his thing. Go check out Richard. Everybody needs to go watch it. And thank for your shares, people. Bye.